Hello and welcome back to the Barrington James podcast. And today I am delighted to be joined by Andres, who is the CTO of CyberSurgery. Andres, pleasure to have you on with us today.
Hello, I'm pretty good. Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. Yeah.
Not a problem, my pleasure. Look, Andres, for those who don't know about CyberSurgery, what can you tell us about your company?
Okay. I'm the CTO of CyberSurgery, and we are doing a robotic assistant for spinal fusion surgeries. So actually, we are certifying our robot that is the Alaya robot, and yeah, we are on the way to commercialize it. Yeah.
Excellent. And you've been with CyberSurgery for a few years now. How have you seen that development of the robot come on over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I've been in cybersurgery since 2019. Actually, the company was created in 2017 as a consequence of some research projects that reached some satisfactory results in some tests. And then the company was created, and then I joined here at the beginning as the robotics department manager, and a year later as the CTO. And we have developing this robot that right now is in the certification process. I mean, we have achieved the clinical trials. We have performed some clinical trials with successful results in here in Spain, and now we are in our way to the certification.
Amazing. And obviously certification is such a big topic when it comes to sort of a medical device, surgical robots. Sort of how have you found that journey to be able to get to the stage where you're ready to go for that certification?
Yeah, certification is something that impacts you from the very beginning of the project. So you have to be aware that there are a lot of regulations and some standards and some processes that you have to meet in order to be able to certify your product. So there are, like, for example, electrical and electromagnetic security tests that you have to take into account from the very beginning of the project, and also all the process of how you work on the requirements, the design, the documentation, how you test, how you perform everything. So yeah, the certification is something that is quite in the ADN of the project since the very beginning. In a field like ours, you have to take that into account when you perform your technical tasks also. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. And you mentioned a number of different areas there. What would you say for you and the team at CyberSurgery has been the biggest hurdle to overcome when it comes to that certification?
The most difficult part, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I think that it's to understand from the very beginning what the full product requires. I mean, there are a lot of uncertainties in the beginning of how your product behave, or where are the things that you have to focus on to reach the certification phase, and to reach like a finished product that is able to be in the market. I mean, there are problems that you start to find during the development, and it's really difficult to try to take it into account from the beginning. Yeah, so that uncertainty, because of the high technological product that you are developing, is like the most difficult part to handle, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. And you mentioned there the technology. What is the specific technology behind the CyberSurgery robot that you're working on?
Yeah, cybersurgery robot has an innovative tracking solution. So there are like other robots, robotic assistants that assist the surgeons in spinal surgeries, but the robotic assistant from CyberSurgery has a different technology to track the patient. So it consists on a electromechanical tracking device that is monitoring in real time the motion of the patient, so the robot is able to compensate it. And that is a quite different technological approach of what it's already done in the market. This is interesting because it has some advantages that reduce the footprint of the product in the OR, reduces the problems of workspace conditioning of the surgeons and the staff in the OR, and reduces complications due to the cameras and the absence of line of sight between the patient and the cameras. So it's mainly the technological difference that that the current product has. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Definitely sounds like a robot is going to change the industry and market for the better. Obviously, the surgical robotics market in general is growing so fast in recent times. What would you say is the biggest change in the market that you've seen in recent years?
Yeah, I think that the market is evolving quite fast in, as you said, in this surgical robotics area, or maybe in the technology, in the surgical technologies area, because there is a huge room for improvement there. So I think that the market has discovered that in the operating room there are potential fields to improve the surgical outcomes. So I think that the most challenging topic in this area is to find in the focus. I mean, which is the application, which is the focus on that amount of possibilities in the surgical room, in the surgical procedures, where you have to focus to really give an advantage for the surgeons and for the patient, and to find where do you have to look for, where do you have to make that contribution to improve the process. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. In your opinion, what would you say the most important area to improve currently is on the market?
Yeah, I think that is to focus on performing procedures that takes time and that are dependent of the surgeon condition in that position, and that do not require like the value that the surgeon can do. I mean, that can give. I mean, the surgeon should focus on more added tasks that requires his knowledge and all the context analysis of the patient, the health conditions, and the diagnostics for the possible outcomes. And the surgeon should focus more on that and be relieved of manual or repetitive tasks, or more mechanical tasks that can be automated with the use of assistants or systems like robots or artificial intelligence, or to give the surgeon better tools, so the surgeon can focus on more complex tasks and improve the diagnostics and treatment of the patients. I think that that's the focus where you have to be. I mean, to be focused on.
Yeah, excellent. And obviously, you mentioned the surgeon quite a lot there. Just how important a role do you have working closely with surgeons and hospitals and clinical environments from your perspective?
Yeah, that's a key point. That's a key point. You have to be in constant collaboration with surgeons, with hospitals, and even other healthcare providers. I mean, with even the nursery team, or the image, the radiologist,
Mhm.
so on, because it is important that take into account them into the development of your product, so you ensure that what you are developing is what they need. And that's key in the product development. Otherwise you can have a impressive product that is the most beautiful, the most accurate, the most precise, the most whatever you want, but if it do not solve a problem that the market has, it's useless. I mean, so that's why you have to be in constant collaboration with them, because they have a different focus, a different point of view of the problems than you as an engineer have. So it's really, really important to keep that collaboration, that communication constantly.
And just sort of how much time do you actually spend when designing these robots to take into consideration sort of how user friendly it's going to be for the surgeons?
Sorry, how much time do we have to?
Yeah, so how much time would you spend in that design and concept phase to make sure that the robot is really user friendly for a surgeon?
We have achieved a methodology that it's quite good to do that, and it's that we use an incremental iterative methodology. So we start with the surgeons, with a collaboration with the surgeons, trying to understand what they need, and we perform like a development process that it's about 6 months to develop a prototype. And with that prototype, you're able to validate if it is what they want or they do not want, what they would change, and with that you can like uh, manage that uncertainty that I was talking about, because you are like discovering what you have to do to face the needs, or to achieve the needs of the surgeons, and to face the challenges of certification. For example, also we do tests of not only usability tests with the surgeons, but also tests of electrical safety and all that stuff. So you are like learning more about the problems that you are facing. So with that iterative, fast process, you're able to handle that. Yeah.
Ah, excellent. Sounds like you have a lot of work to do constantly in different areas within the company. But obviously, you're from the technological perspective within CyberSurgery. Just how important is it to work with other departments within the company?
Yeah, it's quite important. It's quite important. For example, in our case, we are in constant collaboration with our quality and regulatory departments, and it's a daily communication. We are in constant meetings. They test some things that we do. We are always communicating about the requirements, about how to do the things, how to document it, everything. So that collaboration between the technical departments and the quality, for example, the quality and regulatory department, and the commercial one that it's using the robot in demos, in showrooms, and it's getting the feedback from the surgeons and tells you what is the most the most valuable things about the product, and what is the more common issues. It's really, really important, so you can develop like what you need, to get everything aligned with with the objectives of the product of the company also.
Yes, that cross collaboration
Yeah.
with sort of all departments within the company is such a vital aspect to make sure that you can make the most successful product as possible.
Yeah.
Um, Wanted to pick up on one thing you also mentioned earlier, and that's artificial intelligence.
Yep.
Just how big of an impact do you think that's having in the surgical robotics market?
Yeah, I think that it has a great impact because it has a great potential.
Hmm.
So, there are a lot of like repetitive or some kind of tasks like that that can be really improved with the introduction of artificial intelligence. There are like planning procedures, there are like some kind of processes that can be improved with that integration, so you can give the surgeon like some tools to improve their and fasten their diagnosis and treatment of the patients. Yeah, I think that it's,
Amazing. And
yeah, I think that it's also not just for surgical robotics, but um, almost in all the fields of surgeries and in medical, even medical applications. Yeah.
and just how much are you using artificial intelligence for the robot at CyberSurgery?
Yeah, we use artificial intelligence in our system uh, to provide the surgeon or to help the surgeon to perform tasks that he has to do to use the system. So in the planification phase and different stages, we provide some tools, and we keep developing tools that we plan to provide later.
Hmm. Amazing. Can't wait to see what those tools are on the robots. Looking forward into the future of the market, sort of what's the long-term goal for cybersurgery?
Uh, we we are looking for have an impact, a real impact in the patient's life. So in our roadmap, we are developing and releasing further functionalities with more complex tasks in order to improve the surgical outcomes, mainly in the spine surgery field. So in our long term, we will provide different applications, not just the screw insertion for spinal fusion, that is the current application that we are certifying for releasing in the market, but we are going to increase that functionalities of the product, so more patients can be benefited from the use of our robotic assistant. Yeah.
Hmm. Wicked. Um, and I guess then, from your perspective, from the technological side of things, sort of how long do you think it's going to take till you can get the robot to the level you want it to be and actually operating on the market?
Yeah, as I told you before, we use like an iterative procedure. So we plan to do the same in the market. So we hope to be in constant delivery of new features to the market. So it's going to evolve. It's going to evolve, and we hope to keep that evolution during a long time. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's not like a new product that is going to have 5 years or something like that. No, it's like more a constant evolution of our products that make the systems or the benefits of the use of our system to spread in another kind of surgeries.
Hmm. Yeah, totally understand that. Um, from other surgeries, have you sort of planned into that yet? Have you had any discussions of which aspects and areas you may develop into?
Yeah, I mean, we are also working in further steps, as the product is being certified. Like there is like a freezed version that is on that process, and we are developing some other applications that I cannot go into much details. Yeah, but we are already working in some other and a step further for the spinal surgeries. Yeah.
Yes, that sounds good. And looking forward to seeing what they may be when you do announce them eventually. Um, obviously CyberSurgery is a Spanish company, but sort of do you have plans to expand sort of into Europe, into the US as well in the future?
Yeah, I mean, actually, the product is being certified for commercialization in Europe, and we are starting the path to be certified also for USA through the FDA. So yes, well, our goal is to grow. I mean, to also be a global company. So we will start from in here in Europe, and as soon as we get the certification for the FDA, we will start to be in the other in the other continent.
Yeah, of course, and obviously a product like yours, getting it to as many people and as many markets as
Yeah.
possible, it is so important because it really can change people's lives, and that's one of the huge things about surgical robotics is the societal impact they can have.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, robotics has that impact in the society. I mean, when you are working with people's health, eh, there is that consequence that you are also impacting the society where you are doing that. So yeah, for sure, it has like a direct impact. I would say that even all the med tech that it's developed has a direct impact in the society to improve the life quality of the people and that societies where those technologies are implemented.
And would you say that's one of the most rewarding things about working in surgical robotics? The fact that you actually get to see your product change lives?
Yeah, I think that it's quite rewarding that to see that you can make a real impact in people's life. You know, when you see that with the products that you are developing, the people that it's being that goes through as by the to the to the OR has less risk and has a better outcome. It's really rewarding. I mean, to think that you are making some benefit in different people's life. So yeah, I think that that's the most rewarding thing of working in a company like ours. Yeah, not only for me, but it's something
Yeah.
that it's it's for our team. I mean, it's something that we discuss more or less frequently, and the people is what really motivates them to know that their work is has a positive impact in people's life, in society, in something that is really relevant and that has transcendence. Yeah.
Amazing. And obviously, you've been in the industry for quite a few years now. But what would you say the best piece of advice you could give to someone who wants to get involved with surgical robotics?
Yeah, I think that the to 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 be updated, to be in constant learning of technology and in the constant seek of how that technology could be applied in the in people's health. I mean, that attitude of constant learning is really important in this market. I mean, it's something that it's evolving quite fast. As you said, is there's like a lot of interest right now in this field because it has been seen that it has a great potential, and the provision is that it will grow a lot in the next years. So for that reason, the development is quite fast. Everything is changing quite fast. Every day there are like new technical capabilities that you can implement, and they go so fast that you can track. I mean, it's difficult to follow, to track that technology innovation. So I think that for someone that wants to be in the market, to try to be the most close possible to that technology development and evolution is really interesting, because it's there are like what this kind of companies need, you know, people that has that technological knowledge, and even if it has like that clinical application into account, is something really valuable. Yeah.
And yeah, you mentioned there as well about sort of how the technology is constantly changing, and every day there's something new. From your perspective, what would you say the biggest change has been sort of over the last 12 months?
Oof. I think that the biggest challenge in that aspect is how to be in the, I mean, updated with all that amount of developments in the artificial intelligence, in the machine learning field, because there are like in the last 12 months, it has been like a huge wave of developments in all the aspects of the machine learning and artificial intelligence field, that is really difficult to understand everything that's coming from outside, no? So it's really challenging to feel like that there is that huge wave of tools and possibilities, and to identify which ones are the best that for you. I mean, that which tools you should focus on to keep an advantage, to have something that it's useful for you and your application. Yeah, I think that
Mhm.
is the most challenging part of that, of to keep updated with that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned there's so many different tools that can be used. Would you and the team at CyberSurgery, do you have a favorite tool or framework that you like to use?
Yeah, I mean there are some frameworks that we use, but I don't know. I mean I cannot tell you like the details of
Yeah.
which tools are we using. Yeah, but we are exploring, even not only in the process in the product development phase. Also, we try to some use some tools for the processes of the company. I mean, as something important about this is that when you create a like a startup like cybersurgery, you are not only building a product, you are building a product, a team, and a
Hmm.
company. So you have to create everything. I mean, so you have to create the methodology of work of the teams, the culture of the company. You have to create also the processes of how everything works. And as I said before, taking into account that the certification, the regulations are so important in this field, you have to define that pretty good. I mean, you have
Mhm.
to define that processes and make them as optimized as possible. So there is also another opportunity to use that tools of artificial intelligence to improve that processes and to reduce the work that you have to do. I mean, to make it faster and better. Yeah.
Amazing. And obviously, in your position as the CTO, you have sort of a big say in setting that strategy. But just sort of how difficult it is and how rewarding is it to be sort of a leading management member within a company like CyberSurgery?
Yeah, I think that is really interesting. I like it, yeah, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but that motivates, you know, to define everything, to try to work with your team and have alignment, to try to define the product, to try to define the methodologies of work, to try to define So you are in a constant growth. I mean, you are trying to build something, you know, the product, the company, the team, and at the same time, you also growing yourself. So I think that it's quite motivating, and it's quite it's something really interesting for me, because it allows me also to grow as a professional way and in the personal way. I mean,
That's great to hear that you do really enjoy working with CyberSurgery and the product itself. But really appreciate you being on with us today, Andres. If the people want to find out more about CyberSurgery, what would be the best way for them to do that?
yeah, you can follow us in LinkedIn. Yeah, so we have our channel on LinkedIn, that's CyberSurgery, and also in our webpage where we used to publish our most recent product releases and careers and other opportunities that we have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. And you mentioned their most recent product releases. Is there anything we should look out for in the news in the next few months?
Yeah, I mean, we are in the certification phase, so we hope that next year, at mid the next year, we have the certification, so we can release officially our Alaya product to the market in the Europe. Yeah.
Perfect. I'll be sure to look out for that one, Andres. Yeah, really appreciate you coming onto the podcast today. It's been a pleasure to have you, and thank you very much for your insights and knowledge on the surgical robotics market.
Thank you, Toby. Thank you to you for inviting me. I have enjoyed this time, and it's been a really interesting conversation. Thank you.
Amazing. And yeah, really appreciate that, as I mentioned. And if you want to hear more about CyberSurgery, as Andre said, be sure to check them out on their LinkedIn and their websites. But for now, Andres, thank you very much for being on. And yeah, to the listeners, stay tuned for the next episode of the Barrington James podcast that will be coming